Sorry, I'm just going to start again because I've totally forgotten how to do the intro for this. So welcome to the most ADHD things of October. We've just got in there because it's nearly the end of November, but my goodness, it has been busy. There's a lot to share. There's a lot going on. If this is the first time you've listened to ADHD AF podcast, the most ADHD things is a monthly special in which I'm joined by my wonderful husband, the big man.
Hello.
And we read aloud the most ADHD things that are submitted to ADHD AF podcast socials. So the followers share the most ADHD thing they've done that week. I ask every Saturday, and it is an exercise in ADHD awareness. It also brings the community together because it means that people can chat to each other in the comments, and we can all see we're not alone in the ridiculous situations that ADHD can put us in, basically. If we don't get round to reading yours, please don't RSD. We've had loads and loads of submissions and we are limited with time, but we're so grateful to everyone who ever shares their most ADHD things. If you listen to this and you think, well, that doesn't sound like how ADHD presents in me, please don't let it invalidate your experience. All ADHDers experience the condition differently. And so even if something doesn't sound like an ADHD thing to you, it is to that person. And it's really important that we show compassion to everyone with ADHD, well, anyway, but in particular, as the waiting lists in the UK are up to 8 years in some parts for, life-changing and what can be life-saving assessment, diagnosis and treatment, self-diagnosis has to be valid. Through self-diagnosis, we can find community, peer support, self-compassion, which is essential. We have some very exciting things to share with you. And we are sat in bed at Fernie House Hotel in Blackpool, where we currently live.
We live
here now.
We reside here.
Where there will be an ADHD AF Christmas event, but I'll come back to that. But before we dive into this ridiculousness, in the name of ADHD awareness, I've got something really amazing to share. And I've also got some really important stuff to share at the end too. So do stick around. So firstly, it's a really big one. I'm really, really excited to share this with you. Back in March, I literally found out about NHS Task Force minutes before I went live on Insta. And so it was a bit emotional and I was a bit overwhelmed. I stated then that I was cautiously optimistic about the announcement. Well, this week, NHS Task Force has announced who is involved. And for me personally, the biggest victory of all is that amongst the medical experts, there are experts by lived experience. So finally, the services are listening. Nothing about us without us. And though I'm not allowed to say, I know for a fact that if they listen to one of these experts by experience in particular, we are in very good hands indeed. With a view on intersectionality and marginalised groups, obviously, none of us know how things will play out, but I have had a few cries about this and I'm so completely overjoyed about the difference this could make. So that is very exciting indeed. I wish I could share more, but that's all I can say for now. Okay, before I start bawling again, I'm going to wind my emotionally dysregulated neck in and dive into the most ADHD things you legends have shared in the name of ADHD awareness on the socials. So we're going to start off with Insta. Joanne Amanda Designs. I searched the boot of my car for my raincoat, told my uncle I was so sure I'd brought it in there, then I realised I was actually wearing it.
Penders meets World. Cried on my birthday because not enough people remembered.
Oh, well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hope you had a wonderful one. Spicy Steph lost the lid to the butter in the cutlery drawer for 6 hours.
Wow. Beth Coleman. Put my washing on my bed to put away, then threw it on the floor when it came to getting into bed. Repeat times 4.
Times 4!
Yeah, we've all
That's nothing. We've done that for weeks.
Yeah.
Beth Coleman, oh no, that's the same person. ADHD teacher diaries, spent 4 hours on what should have been a 1 hour task and still didn't finish it. Oh my gosh, I hear you.
Yeah. Beauty _ school _ dropouts _ UK. I was supposed to take my retest for my HGV license on Tuesday, but I lost the tiny bit of paper I needed to take with me to sit the test. So I had to call the instructor's company in tears to tell them I had to forfeit the test and book another one, which cost me £500. Bloody hell. Spent the afternoon sitting on a park bench in the rain, crying all afternoon because I was so cross with myself. Trod in dog poo on the way home.
No!
Oh, God, it's
insult
the worst.
to injury.
Yeah.
The ADHD tax just keeps piling up.
Yeah.
So sorry. Addy _02. I bought vitamins and keep forgetting to take them. Yes, relatable.
It's me, Saskia C. I was prepping some questions to ask a potential landlord, got distracted thinking about the presidential election, wrote, will he be managing the presidency? Possibly. Will you be managing the presidency? Because someone needs to.
Fox loves Scotland. I booked tickets for London for the wrong month.
Brilliant.
Bugger.
A neurodivergent individual. Oh, I've been waiting for this because I have several. First and most important, I got my clinical diagnosis. Wow, that's amazing. I'm officially ADHD AF.
Yes, you were always officially ADHD AF, Andy, but now you are medically. And I hope that means that you get the support that you need and quick. And I'm sorry you had such a long wait. Coffee, yes, and blank stares. Couldn't be bothered to return the sofa, which got delivered in the wrong packaging. We ordered a right-hand L. They sent a left-hand L in a box labelled right-hand. So instead, spent an entire day rearranging an entire room to accommodate it. Yeah, that's definitely something I would do.
ADHD coaching with Olivia. With an early train, brought a tote bag to carry things like phone charger for day out. Turns out I didn't pack the phone charger. Now to buy a spare one. The ADHD tax is taxing today. Yeah.
Murphy Mau Mau. I missed not one, but 2 important meetings this week. Had them scheduled in my phone and had reminders. I just absolutely didn't even have my phone on me, nor my watch to buzz when I have a reminder. Or remember they were a thing. Feel absolutely grim. I haven't been this organised in a while, but this week has been rough. So sorry, Kirsty.
Eleanor Amy Wilkinson. Getting dysregulated over my phone charger not working, and I was on 16% before meeting clients. Impulsively buys a new charger, forgets that she already has a stack of charging cables in a desk I could just use.
What, these are things?
These are.
Heather Lou Johnson. Worked 10 days back to back and now I'm off. I don't know what to do with myself.
No.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. Evelyn _MC _2000. Got my washing out and started to hang it up. Halfway through realised it was dry. I'd forgotten to turn the machine on again.
Boo Lisa 65. Travelling in Indo by myself. Where do I begin? Entered the wrong bungalow 3 times, broke 2 pairs of glasses, and yesterday I booked the wrong homestay and fled in the middle of the night. Can't find anything, no matter how organised I am. Swinging from so relaxed to complete confusion and pain, for starters. I've done that a lot when travelling.
Yeah.
It's just such a lot of pressure, and it's this kind of, it's almost like the boom bust cycle, because you're so excited that you're doing the thing and you're so enthused. And, you know, the freedom of different days and whatever. And then it's like, oh my God, I absolutely cannot live out of a bag anymore and I cannot cope. Yeah. Can I stay in one place? It's just backwards and forwards amongst all the catastrophes. But hope you have a wonderful time.
Charlotte-ish just says impulsive tattoo.
Circus _Chrissy. Went to reach for the coffee pot, forgetting the kettle was on, and put my arm right through the steam and burned my wrist.
Ow.
Hope it's healed, Chrissy.
Yeah. Jessan 33 had a mental breakdown over tofu. Understandable. They didn't have the one I liked at the supermarket, so I stood there staring at the tofu, crying. An employee asked if I was okay. I responded, tofu?
Oh, bless you. We hope you got the one you liked in the end.
Yes.
WBDG, the podcast. Forgot to order anxiety tablets, then put off doing it as I can't bear the online repeat prescription form. I hear you. Went to order them and forgot to log in on the doctor's website. Again. Overbook work, so can't get to the doctor's to request another password. Threw a wobbly and said, screw the doctors. I don't need the fucking tablets anyway. This week, low mood, low energy, low motivation, crying at everything, and to top it off, I have a cold too.
Oh dear.
I'm sorry, but the system is ableist.
Yeah.
We literally have to fight against the very symptoms that we need support with in order to get the support.
Yeah.
And I totally hear you with throwing a wobbly. That's exactly what I've done with access to work.
Yeah.
I don't want the fucking money anyway.
Yeah.
Not like I need the help or anything.
Yeah. It rankles me no end.
Yeah.
Lou likes lemons. Didn't dress appropriately for the weather. Rather than walk back for less than 5 minutes to get a coat, bought a new coat. Brilliant.
Marie 5373. I agreed to go somewhere tomorrow that I don't have the time to go to, so I've thought of lots of excuses to use to get out of it, but still haven't sent the message to say I'm not going.
Kim Pierpoint, UK, crept into our bedroom in the dark as my husband had already gone to bed, found my PJs and eye mask in the dark, changed into my PJs, lost my eye mask, found torch to search for eye mask, found my eye mask where I was sitting. I snuck into bed only to realise I'd lost my eye mask again. Switched torch on and searched everywhere for eye mask. No eye mask, for fuck's sake. Found the spare eye mask, dropped torch, put second eye mask on my head, found first eye mask on my head. Removed second eye mask, pulled original one down to my eyes, realised I still had my glasses on. After nearly 15 minutes, I finally got into bed. My husband said, "What are you doing? Why didn't you switch on the light?" Yeah.
Oh, that's our Kim. So if you haven't already listened to the Chinwag, which kicked off season 3 with Kim Pierpoint about self-sabotage, you have to give it a listen because it's literally the most commented on episode of all time. Yeah. Kim is wonderful. It's coffee, yes, and blank stares again. Fed my cats their 6 p.m. food 3 times because I'd forgot I'd done it, not remembering until seeing the empty packets in the bin. Cats had a great day though.
Yeah. Burke J008 did one hand of my nails. Took me another 24 hours to finish the other hand.
Maz Poke stood crying in Lidl. Need I explain? No.
He was trying to buy a horse jacket and a jet ski and
some tofu.
And 3 dozen eggs.
Rivka Jacobs, millinery. Went to my corner shop, bought lemons, garlic and ginger, got home, only had lemons and garlic. I literally did that the other day. I bought crumpets and left the butter in Tesco's.
It, yeah. Megan Burke's coaching. I have new sheets.
Yes, Megan!
Well done, Megan.
So if you haven't listened to Megan's episode, have a listen. We're very happy that you're no longer sleeping on those sheets.
Sheetless.
Well done. So, Facebook now.
Faye Branwell Wood. And for today's ADHD gem, I get on the train to London Blackfriars, doom scrolling all the way, get off the train at Blackfriars, walking down the platform, taking in the surroundings, and something doesn't feel right, and I realise it's because I'm on platform 5, London Victoria.
Faye Branwell Wood asked a cafe worker where my cup of tea was while sitting there stirring the tea bag, then walked out of the cafe and down the road, still sipping that tea in their lovely standard white tea mug. Okay, so these next one are from Discord, so the names will remain anonymous. They're from the community.
The Patreon community. My husband passed me a roll of bags whilst he ripped one off. I overestimated the pull. When he let go, I punched my right boob. Another comedy bruise to add to this week's selection.
Made a hot water bottle for horrific period pain, bless you. Poured water in and went to put the top back on, confused as it was too big. Had it grown in 3 minutes to boil a kettle? Spent ages trying to get it to fit whilst holding a hot water bottle, getting heavier. Then I spotted the lid next to the kettle. What was I holding in my hand? The plug for the sink.
Next one is left my handbag in the work cafeteria for 4 hours yesterday and thankfully didn't notice until I was about to leave. Luckily, I work with some trustworthy people and someone in my team even said they'd wondered why there was a lonely bag sat there. Fortunately, I was able to retrieve it without having to go and explain to facilities. The same bag last year was left on my desk and I travelled home without it. Oh, God.
It is now 12 minutes past midnight. All day I've been trying to remember something important. I was sure I had forgotten something, just realised that it was ADHD AF day. For me, the day is not yet over, and to prove it, here is my Primark blue leopard print jammies, accessorised with blue flashing harness. On my feet are my grey Tesco leopard print slippers, a real up-class girl. Go on, Han.
Really
thank you very much, and thank you so much to everybody who took part in ADHD AF day, and who listened to and shared the Leopard Print Army specials to raise ADHD awareness in ADHD Awareness Month. So thank you so much. So unfortunately, someone hit my partner's car on Saturday whilst we were in slow moving traffic. I was sat in the passenger seat at the time. The person who hit us tried to drive off and pretend they hadn't noticed. Much to their surprise, I flung the car door open and chased them down the road until they were forced to stop at a red light when I politely, as much as I could at the time, confronted them. I think this is an example of ADHD fight or flight at its best. No risk assessments were had. I must have looked like Forrest Gump running along the path to catch up with this car. My partner was on the phone to his dad and was saying someone's hit my car and ran off after them. I don't know where she's gone. Impulsivity for the win. I bet you didn't even know that was coming either.
Yeah. Put the lid of the coffee jar into my coffee instead of back on the jar. Then ate all the red and purple Skittles waiting for my wife to notice.
I slept in today, turned all my alarms off. I was dreaming of painting someone as a raccoon. The fire under my arse this morning was real. I don't think I've got ready that quickly in a long time.
Oh, God, yeah.
Who did you paint? Can you do it in real life?
I poured boiling water in my smoothie bottle instead of the mug from my tea this morning. This isn't the first time I've done this. Wilted spinach isn't the same as isn't the same in a smoothie.
No.
Oh, God.
Okay, so now we have got...
First runner-up.
The first runner-up is Abby Gibbs from Instagram. Lock my front door, then for some reason I put the keys in the letterbox.
It's like you've thought, do you know what? I'm gonna set myself a crystal maze challenge today, unconsciously, and there you go. Deal with that.
Thanks for having me.
Bye. Okay, the second runner-up. Discord just... Oh,
so it's
sorry.
from Discord.
Discord just rubbed the score. Sorry, second runner-up. Just arrived at school. I'm wearing my dungarees backwards. Wow. How?
I love it.
I mean, they must have been tied around the waist.
Who knows? But I love it. Well done, community member. We love it.
Brilliant.
But the winner is the wonderful James Brown from ADHD Adult UK and the ADHD Adults podcast, who said, I trod in two separate piles of dog shit, one for each foot, within 30 seconds of each other, and didn't notice.
That's brilliant. It's horrible, but it's brilliant. That's the worst thing to stand in, isn't it? I think there's nothing.
One after another.
Wow. I then didn't notice.
So I said that there would be some big announcements, so I want to share those now, and then we'll come back to our most ADHD things, because
Yes.
I have got an absolute corker to end on.
Okay.
So I just want to say these few bits first.
Yeah.
Okay, so first and foremost, we are starting a fundraiser for ADHD AF Plus charity tomorrow. So that is Thursday, the 28th of November, and it's going to run until the 28th of February. The reason why it's running that long is because those are the dark months of the year. So this is a fundraiser which not only supports the charity, it also supports the community.
Yeah.
So last winter, it was so incredibly apparent how many of us were really struggling with SAD. Now, SAD is commonly occurring with ADHDers at 30%, I believe. And also it's been suggested or research denotes that it's women that suffer from it, predominantly ADHD women. So having witnessed this firsthand, well, for 2 years now in the online peer support community, I wanted to think of something to best support us in these winter months. One of the main things that can be helpful for SAD is movement. But as I said, we're sat here in bed.
Yeah.
Literally, as soon as winter hits, all I want to do is hibernate until spring, sit on my arse, especially with Christmas coming up.
Yeah.
And in the immediate, that can feel so comforting. But what I know firsthand is that as the days and weeks and bloody months, because I'm time blind AF, roll by, next thing you know, I haven't left the house for a month. I'm literally completely depressed, even more so than I would be. We need, even if there's very little daylight, we need some. We need to move, even if we can't go outside. This is why I've come up with this team fundraiser. This is for absolutely everybody. This isn't just for the online peer support community members. If you are listening to this, it is for you. You can share it with your family. You can share it with your place of work. Anyone and everyone is very welcome to join our team. It is the more the merrier, because so many of us are already up against it with PMDD, endometriosis, already got depression, anxiety, all of the co-occurring conditions that we already battle on the daily. Now we're going to add SAD on top. And at a time when so many of us are on waiting lists for an indefinite amount of time without support, and others, like myself, are struggling with medication shortages.
Yeah.
So really, we are up against it, all of us this winter, and we need each other now more than ever. And at the same time, joining this team fundraiser will mean that you are helping get ADHD AF Plus charity up and running. So the idea is, just like on the podcast, we track our glimmers, we are translating movement into glimmers. I'll share a link because I'll be rabbiting on too long if I try and explain it all bit by bit. But it's like all the ones, like over 1 million glimmers, and we get those by a minute's movement or however many steps translates to however many. But I'm not going to go into it because it sounds more complicated than it is, and it's all spelled out. All you have to do is follow the link and join the team. So you set up your own page on Just Giving, you follow the link, you join the team, and then we get cracking. So it is a team effort. And I've been working with some community members, Tracy, Ruth, and a few others, Kim, Nicole, talking about how this can work for those of us that struggle so much with routine. So we need the accountability, but we also need it to not be too rigid, that anybody feels pressured. And we need to accept that some of us are going to struggle some days. So luckily we've come up with this plan that's it's motivating. And it's also loose enough that if we have a bad day, week, or even month, we're not going to feel behind because it's a collective team effort.
Yeah. So
we're all looking after each other. So I'm really excited about it. The page is called ADHD Winter Warriors Outshine SAD to Illuminate ADHD AF Plus Charity. So the aim is that we're going to support each other over the winter, and in turn, that will get the charity out into the community by spring. So it works all the way across the board. All genders welcome, all neurotypes welcome. You do not have to be a community member. And I'd just love you to get on board and or to sponsor. So please do check that out because it starts tomorrow. And the beauty is, with it being a team effort, you can join at any point. You could even join the last day of February if you wanted to.
You could.
But I'd love you to get on board right away, because as much as I, more than anybody, just wants to fester in my pit, I need to get moving. So let's help each other get moving. And that can look like anything. It's not a race. It can be steps. It can be a kitchen disco. It can be some stretching. It's whatever movement feels right to you. This isn't about being strenuous or burning calories or anything ridiculous like that. It is just about movement for mental health, because we all need the support, basically. So please check that out. Link in blurb. So that's one of the things I've got to tell you. The other thing I've got to tell you about is I am putting on an event at this wonderful hotel. So Fernie House Hotel is on Blackpool Promenade. It is the coolest hotel probably in the world. So we have moved into this hotel because we are still in transit for our move to Spain. And as we are moving house, it isn't possible for me to do a Christmas tour this year. But it is still so important to me to try and bring people together as a community, to connect with other ADHDers, when so many of us not only struggle with the SAD, but also find Christmas a challenging time. It can be very triggering to us. I explained this in great depth last Christmas. So the solution that I found is that I'm putting on a social. So rather than a show, I'm putting on a little gathering at Fernie House Hotel, which, by the way, has the best Christmas trees. There are disco balls everywhere. It is incredible here. So if you happen to be anywhere near Blackpool on Sunday, the 15th of December, then come along. It starts at 3, it ends at 8. The tickets are free, but we just ask for a donation on arrival. And if there are enough of us that get together, then it means we'll do a raffle, and all of the raffle money and all of the entry money will all go directly to the charity.
Yes.
So if you don't already know about the charity, although it is a separate entity from the podcast entirely, the podcast and community inspired ADHDAF Plus charity, which is to connect and empower ADHD adults of marginalised genders. if you are in or anywhere near Blackpool on that day, please come down and let's get together, support each other this Christmas, have a mince pie around the tree and a few giggles and a raffle and raise some funds for the charity. So link in bio for those very limited tickets. There are not many to go. And I really hope to see you there for some festive fun. Big will be there too. He'll be manning the bar. On top of that, I have been invited to go along and hang out with some more ADHD legends this coming week. So on Monday, the 2nd of December, I'm going to be helping Sarah Templeton of ADHD Liberty Charity with her charity auction. It's a Christmas event in sunny High Wycombe, as she calls it. It better be sunny. So if you happen to be anywhere near sunny High Wycombe on Monday, the 2nd of December, 7 p.m. I will also put a link in the blurb to that. And then on Wednesday, the 4th of December, I'm going to be at Sessions Session. So Pat Sessions is the editor of this podcast. He edits the interview episodes, and he has a Milton Keynes ADHD adult support group. And I'm going along to his Christmas one, which is on Wednesday the 4th in Milton Keynes. And that requires an RSVP. And I will be reading Meetup Goers Most ADHD Things at the event. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you all. And then on Thursday, the 5th of December, myself and my partner in ADHDF Emporium, Steph of All the Discos, we are hosting an ADHDF Emporium store at the Cattle Yard in Norfolk. So this really cool venue, it's music, shopping and festive food, Thursday the 5th of December, 5 p.m. till 10 p.m. So we will be there with jingle bells on.
Nah.
So very exciting.
Festive.
High Wycombe on Monday, Milton Keynes on Wednesday, Norfolk on Thursday, and then on the 15th here in Blackpool at the Fernie. So those are my Christmas plans. If any of those work for you, I would love you to come along and connect at what can be, well, what I always find a really bloody challenging time of year.
It is, yeah.
And on top of that, the day before my event here at the Fernie, the girls are putting on another event called the Style Assembly, and they've asked me to be a model. So I will be walking for Crafty Cloth, amazing fashion brand here in Blackpool, and I think I might be wearing some other stuff as well, and it's going to be incredible. So the House of Wings charity are putting on this wonderful event called the Style Assembly here in Blackpool with lots of Blackpool creatives to showcase their incredible work. Really wonderfully put together event, and I'm so excited to be part of it. So brilliant. Bit of modelling, why not? And then next day, be joined by the wonderful Nicole Nadler, Kim Pierpoint, Jill Charlton, and Lou O'Connell is coming along. So, Big.
Yeah.
What is the most ADHD thing you've done this week?
I decided I need to go for a walk the other day, so I left the hotel. The tide was out, so I walked down to the beach. I thought, oh, that's nice. I'll go as far as the Pleasure Beach. Got to there. I thought I'd just go a little bit further. Carried on past the airport. Got to some sand dunes. Went further from there as well. Kind of lost track of what I was doing. Picked up some shells, and then got to this little old pier, which was quite far away, I think. Got to the pier, walked into the cafe because I was hungry. It was past lunchtime by then. I said, yeah, I'll have this, please, and that, and a cup of tea. And also, can you tell me where I am, please? Because I didn't know where I was. And the girl behind the counter looked at me and said, you're in St Anne's, Lytham St Anne's. And I said, oh, right. That's quite far away, isn't it? She said, why, where have you come from? I said, Central Pier, Blackpool, pretty much. Went, wow, that's, yeah. And then I realised I'd walked about 5 miles, really. And then
Had to walk back.
So, yeah, that was my most ADHD thing. I walked, nearly 10 miles in a...
Just felt like running. I already know what the most ADHD thing you've done this month was. It was in Ibiza. The cover artwork, it is from the Halloween party at Pike's Hotel that we attended, which is incredible.
It was.
And the photo is by Hattie Photography. So thank you very much to Hattie for capturing that and letting us use it for the artwork for this episode. Go on, tell your story.
Went to Pike's for Halloween, dressed as Miss Piggy.
Miss Piggy and Kermit.
And
or
Kermit.
Miss Piggy and
Miss
Hermit.
Piggy and Hermit. I was Miss Piggy. Had the best time. Got to quite late and I was very tired. So I said, you know what? I'm going to head off. Stood in a taxi queue.
I obviously stayed.
Laura stayed. Laura stayed behind. Got in a taxi queue.
Which was huge.
Because
it's the party.
Yeah, and there were no taxis coming really. And I waited in the queue with some mates for quite a long time, probably 40 minutes or something. And then
got halfway
towards the taxi bit and the old impulse kicked in and I went, sod this, I'm walking home. So I took my dress off, which was very sparkly. And luckily I had a t-shirt spare, so with us. So I put a t-shirt on.
And shorts underneath.
So so I wasn't winning the pooing it. I had my Converse. I said, right, see ya. And a friend in the queue was like, you've waited this long and now you're going to walk home. I said, yeah, I'm going home. Now where it is very dark, quite far away. But I said, sod it. So I wrapped my sparkly sequin dress around my neck like a high-vis safety. Superhero. And then sort of walked down this kind of little country lane.
It's a Camino in the Campo. Yeah. It's like...
There's no street lights or nothing. So I was walking along. And I mean, it's not the most ADHD thing was that I just decided I'm going to.
Yeah.
But then I fell down a hole. But luckily kept my footing. And didn't sort of end up in this field. When I saw it the next day, it wasn't the biggest hole, but I would have definitely gone...
in the dark, in the pitch black.
Yeah, would have gone arse over tit. So I managed to keep my footing anyway and made it home safely in pretty good time.
Yeah, you did.
Pretty good time.
Yeah, you did. Unfortunate that we weren't already doing the fundraiser then, because that would have stacked up some serious glimmers. Especially, and the Lytham St Anne walk. So thank you for joining the team, because we've got it with you,
Yeah, I'm going to smash those glimmers. Just switch off my brain for half an hour and I'll end up something stupid. But yes, so that's mine. And what is your most ADHD thing this week and this month?
Okay, well, this week is definitely Discord. So I'm simplifying Discord.
Oh, yeah.
It's been exactly 2 years on the 22nd of this month that we've had the Discord server. So there's loads and loads, 2 years worth of conversations. And it dawned on me that all of the information, you have to scroll to find it. So at one point, I go into one of the channels that I've downloaded, that I've got all of the information from, to go through it, to put it in a coherent thing. And I start to get deja vu, which isn't uncommon for me.
No.
Like, I've been here before, hang on a minute, what's going on? And despite doubting myself at every turn as standard, eventually realised I'd definitely already done that one. Only to discover that I'd actually started the task a few days prior on a different Google Drive and had already done 2.5 channels and completely fucking forgotten. So, the task was hard enough without doubling up.
Yeah.
And I have sweet fuck all times. But for anybody who finds my disorganisation and scattiness frustrating, I promise you nobody finds it more frustrating than I do. Because it literally took forever. Anyway, I've got some real corkers for you for the rest of October. So firstly, I'm very excited that community legend Lou O'Connell, who I just discovered is MBE because it says so on their amazing book, Lou has published You Are Not Your ADHD, the Women's Guide to Hacking Your ADHD Brain so you can work with it rather than fight against it. And I am overjoyed to have been quoted in it. So it says on page 73, rejection sensitive dysphoria, RSD, is when someone feels extremely hurt or upset by even small signs of rejection or criticism. In the words of Laura Mears Reynolds from the ADHD podcast, RSD is just really shit daydreams. Don't believe everything you think. So thank you very much, Lou. And funnily enough, I got sent this when I needed to hear my own advice. So thank you very much. So that's amazing. And congrats to Lou. And Lou will be joining us at the Fernie event on the 15th of December. I'm going to make her do a little reading.
Do it.
Yes. Just before we went to Ibiza, it was ADHD AF day. And I got myself in a right old state because I literally scheduled, interviewed, recorded, edited, did the artwork and promotion for all of that mini-series myself. So I was basically burnt out. So by the time I put out the call in, it's ADHDF day, let's go, I was an emotional wreck. So as the messages were coming in, I just spent the whole day either worrying that nobody wanted to be on board or so grateful to everyone that was on board. And I was just an absolute mess. So that, number one. Then when we got on holiday, I accidentally locked us in a room.
Oh, yeah.
And then when we left that hotel, we went to do a little hike, not in any way strenuous at all. And I immediately fell over and grazed both of my knees.
You did, yeah. You tripped up quite a lot that day, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Because I was rationing my meds because of the shortages.
Yeah.
And I took for granted how much they helped me. So I just walked along uncautiously, which I've now got used to doing, but without medication, just fell arse over tit and grazed both my knees. So had lovely grazed knees for the whole holiday.
You did.
And then when we were leaving at the airport, I distractedly mistook a silver bin for one of those Dyson hand dryers that you put your hands in. So I basically put my hands in a bin.
Yeah.
But the best one, and I'm actually giving myself the prize for best most ADHD thing for this episode, is when I was recording the Leopard Print Army special ADHD Awareness Month interviews, one particular community member was so organised that she sent me a link, and then she sent me the audio from it. But I'm very forgetful. So what happened was I just went back through my list, which is already saved in my computer, to do all of the editing and add all of the bits. You see where this is going?
Yeah.
So, Lizzie, my sincere apologies for missing out your statement for ADHD Awareness Month in the ADHD Awareness Month mini-series. So I leave you with Lizzie. Take it away.
My name's Lizzie. I'm from Birmingham. I'm 32 and I was diagnosed about a year ago. I've just started medication. ADHD Awareness Month this year. The message that awareness is key is really important. I think it's more than that, really. Awareness creates compassion. For people with ADHD, awareness is an awareness of yourself. Perhaps if you've been late diagnosed, and you suddenly realise that all of these things that didn't quite make sense about yourself for such a long time suddenly make sense. Be able to be compassionate to themselves, to be able to understand what they find difficult, why they find it difficult, where they can work with those things, and perhaps where their limits are, so that they don't burn out, so that they don't people please themselves into oblivion, so that they don't lose their complete sense of identity. For people who love and support people with ADHD, if you work with someone or you live with someone who they're late all the time and it seems really inconsiderate to you, or they just talk over you all the time. It could be a myriad of things. It presents differently in everybody, but having that awareness to think maybe there is something under the surface, maybe there is more to this reaction. Perhaps if someone talks over you constantly and you find that really irritating, you think that they must not care about what you have to say. Think a little bit deeper about how that person thinks that they are communicating with you. Maybe they're just sharing their enthusiasm. Maybe they're just really excited. And what you've said has sparked something in them that has just, kind of exploded in enthusiasm, which means they probably don't actually realise that they're talking over you or that they're being rude, that actually they're just showing you that they found something that you've said really meaningful. I think it can be the hardest thing to be able to stand up and say, I have this difference, I have these struggles, but I think there's definitely a massive amount of power in it as well. Going out into the world, specifically work, I took a decision to just be very, very open and very, very bold about it. And it was very much, I think, off the back of ADHD, to just be open about it, to say in incidental conversation, to not almost have a coming out thing, where I'd build it up and how to present to someone. But I just throw it into conversation, and then whatever the reaction was, that was not down to me anymore. I actually announced it at my last interview. It was terrifying. I was like, I've never felt so exposed in my life, but it was one of the most transformative things I've done, I think, because in doing that, it gave the thing less weight. It gave the thing less power over me. I've definitely also seen the effects on other people. I've had conversations with colleagues that are now seeking support for things, friends that are doing the same as well. So awareness is compassion, visibility is power.